53% of the shoppers say that they always do research before they buy. 83% of the customers agree that they feel more loyal to the brands that respond to their before purchase queries. That means a product's query greatly plays a very crucial role in converting your leads into a customer and building a long-term customer-vendor relationship. And yes, it really does. Hey, are you too looking to facilitate your customers with a solution with which they can raise their pre-sale queries for your products? What if you can add an inquiry button to your WooCommerce store and provide ease to customers to ask product related queries? Yes, you can do it easily with product inquiry for WooCommerce. It will be the best possible solution for you here. The Inquiry for WooCommerce plugin will help you to add an inquiry button on the shop page to help the customers to ask pre-sale queries or other product related queries. Sounds interesting? Yes, it is. Let's get started. Hi everyone, this is Munam from Make Web Better, and in today's demo video, I will be demonstrating you how to add a product inquiry form to your WooCommerce store. So let's dive into the tutorial video and understand how to customize the inquiry button and send emails to customers. So once you have purchased the plugin, you have to move to your WordPress dashboard and you have to move to plugins and you have to click on add new. And you have to click on upload plugin, and here you have to choose the zip file that you have got and you have to click on install now. So as you can see that the plugin has been installed and you have to click on activate plugin. So as you can see that the plugin has been activated, as you can see that. So now let's again move to WordPress dashboard. So once you have successfully installed the plugin, you have to move to your WordPress dashboard and you have to hover on Make Web Better and you have to click on product inquiry for WooCommerce. So we are on the backend settings of product inquiry for WooCommerce. So in today's demo video, I will be explaining you about the overview section, general settings, inquiry button settings, email settings, form settings, inquiry list, terms and policy. So firstly, let me explain you about the overview section. So let's click on overview. So we have added a tab of overview section so that the merchants can get a basic idea about the plugin's feature, what is the functionality of the plugin, and how the plugin can be beneficial for your WooCommerce store. So this was all about the overview section. Now let's move to general settings. So we are on the general settings. So the very first thing the admin or the WooCommerce merchant has to do is he has to click on this toggle button to make the functionality of product inquiry for WooCommerce work. So as soon as you have clicked on enable inquiry button, you have to click on save changes. So let's go to the shop page. So as you can see that the inquiry button has come here because we have enabled the functionality, so it's coming here. So let's again go back to the backend settings. Next field is visible to user. So with this field, the admin can decide the visibility of the inquiry button, like if the first option is default. So if the admin selects the first option as default, so it will be visible to all users like logged in user or whether guest user. So it will be visible to all user like logged out user, logged in user, to any users. Next, if I have selected like only logged in users, so as soon as I will click on save changes, so on the shop page, I have logged in with admin. So I have logged in. So that is why the inquiry button is showing to me, because I have enabled the functionality as show only to logged in user. Same goes for only logged out user. So if the admin clicks on only logged out user, so it will only show to the only logged out user. So this is how the admin or the WooCommerce merchant can decide the visibility of the inquiry button to different users. So the next field is show inquiry button when the product is out of stock. So as soon as the WooCommerce merchant or the admin clicks on this tick box, so it will all show the inquiry button on the out of stock product. So by default, the inquiry button is enabled for all the product. It shows the inquiry button for all the products. But with the help of this plugin, if the admin wants to disable the inquiry button or enable the inquiry button for out of stock products, he can do it from here. Like if I have disabled this, so let's click on save changes and let's go to the shop page. So as you can see that these two products are out of stock and there is no inquiry button on these two products because we have not click on the tick box to show inquiry button on out of stock products. So let's click on inquiry button show. and click on save changes. And let's again go back to the shop page and refresh this. So as you can see that the inquiry button has come for the out of stock products also. So this is how the admin can show or hide the inquiry button for the out of stock products according to his business requirements. Next field is remove data on deactivation plugin. So as soon as the admin clicks on this tick box, so with this the admin can erase or delete all the plugin related data from the WordPress database after plugin is deactivated. Next field is add custom CSS. So here with the custom CSS, the admin or the WooCommerce merchant can add globally applicable custom CSS. So with this the admin can change the size, layout, fonts of the page when the product where the product inquiry button is implemented. Next field is show inquiry per page. So here the admin or the WooCommerce merchant can decide the number of queries to be shown per page in the inquiry list table. Like if I have selected like 1 and clicked on save changes, and let's go to inquiry list. So as you can see that there is only coming 1 query at 1 page, and it's showing a second page. So you have to click on this. As you can see that it's showing the second query on second page. So this is how you can decide the show inquiry per page. Next is shortcode for inquiry button. So with this the admin can use shortcode to show the product inquiry button anywhere on the WooCommerce shop. So after doing all the settings, make sure to click on save changes. So this was all about the general settings, and as you can see that the settings have been saved. Now let's move to next tab, that is inquiry button setting. So we are on the inquiry button settings tab. So with this setting it will help the admin to edit the button label text, customize button text, background color and much more. So the first field is inquiry button label. So here the admin can decide the button label text. Like if I have written like inquiry button, so the text will become as inquiry button. And next field is show button on shop page. So let's click on this to show button on shop page, and let's click on save changes. So as you can see that the text that we have decided like inquiry button, it's coming here because we have decided the text as inquiry button. So this is how the admin or the WooCommerce merchant can decide the inquiry button label text, and it was coming on the shop page because we have enabled the functionality of to show button on shop page. Like if I have disabled this functionality and click on save changes, and let's go to a shop page and refresh this. So as you can see that the inquiry button is not coming here because we have disabled the functionality to show the inquiry button on the shop page. So let's click on this. So this is how the admin can enable or disable the inquiry button and edit the inquiry button label text according to his business requirements. Next, if he wants to change the button location, like here we have decided like add to cart button, and next location is create inquiry tab. Like if I have decided like after add to cart button, and next field is button background color. So here the admin can decide the button background color. So let's decide the background color as this, and button text color let's select like this. So I have decided the button background color and button text color. So let's click on save changes. So the settings have been saved. Now let's move to shop page and see how these settings will reflect on the front end. So we are on the shop page, and let's refresh this page. So as you can see that the color and the background color and the button text color that we have decided is coming here. So this is how the admin or the WooCommerce merchant can decide the background color, button text color, and also decide the button label text as well as the position of the inquiry button. So definitely these features will help the admin to enhance the user experience on your store, and it will also help to do customizations as per your business requirements and customer needs. So this was all about the inquiry button settings. Now let's move to next tab, that is email settings tab. So we are on the email settings tab. So with the email settings tab, the admin can decide the email priorities, send mail to admin or send mails to the customer. So let's see. The first field is send mail to the admin. So as soon as the admin clicks on this tick box, So it will allow the admin to receive email whenever the customer submits the product inquiry form. Like here the admin has to enter the email. Like if I've entered the email, so uh, I will receive a notification or inquiry form on this email whenever the customer submits an inquiry. Next field is send mail to customer. So as soon as the admin or the WooCommerce merchant clicks on this tick box and here like enters some message like we will come back to you soon. So this message will be sent to the customer's mail whenever the customer submits the inquiry form. So this is how the admin can set email settings according to his requirements. Like if he wants to mail the customer, so he can enable this functionality, and here he can write the custom message like I have written we will come back to you soon. So this message will be sent to the customer mail. So let's click on save changes. So after saving the settings, let's go to the shop page and let's click on inquiry button, and here you have to fill the details like I have filled like, and here enter email. So email address is mandatory here. Without entering the email, the product inquiry form cannot be submitted. So this is how whenever the customer will submit the mail, so he will get the message like whatever we have decided on his mail. And here inquiry. So I have entered the query as when this product will go on sale, and let's submit the query. So as you can see that your response has been recorded. So let's check out the mail of the admin and that the admin will get. So as you can see that this is how the user will be getting an email after he has submitted the product inquiry form. So that the customer message that we have decided like we will come back to you soon is coming here. So this is how the customer will receive an email after he has submitted the product inquiry form. So now let's check the another mail that the admin will be getting regarding the product inquiry form. So as you can see that this is the mail that the admin will be getting like, hello, we have received a product inquiry and here are the form submissions details. So as you can see that the form details are coming here like name and the email ID of the user or the customer, and product SKU and the product name on which the query has been placed, and what is the inquiry, like when this product will go on sale. So this was the inquiry, and at what date and at which time the inquiry was placed. So this is how the admin will get the email regarding the product inquiry whenever the customer places a product inquiry on particular product. So let's again go back to the backend settings. So this was all about the email settings tab. Now let's move to form settings. So we are on the form settings tab. So with this form settings tab, the admin or the WooCommerce merchant can do the customizations related to the form. So here we have provided like the option as choose form type. So here we have given the two options like default and custom. So let's first see the default option. So the default, if we have selected like default option, so we have given like we have provided like the four fields like name field, email field, number field, and inquiry field. So these fields will be available on the form on the front end query whenever the customer will click on inquiry button. So these fields will be available. So here you can also change the change the label of that particular name field. Like if I want to change the name like enter your name. So if you want to change the label of that particular field name, so you can do it by entering the text here. So the particular label of that particular field name will be edited. And we have also added the field like if this field name you want to add on the form or not, like required or not required. So this will not this field like if I select required, so this name field will be mandatory, and without entering the name the form cannot be submitted. So this is how you can set the priority for a particular field, like if it is required or not required for the submission of the form. And email field and inquiry field are always mandatory to fill And here number field you can also like select like required or not required. So let's select on this, and as you can see that next field is actions after inquiry form submissions. So here we have provided the options like redirect on page, show message, and refresh page. So like if I select like show message, and here this content I have written like your response has been recorded. So whenever the customer will submit the inquiry, so this message will come like your response has been recorded. And if I select like redirect on page, so here I have to enter the URL, and whenever the customer will submit the form, so he will be redirected to that particular page where the URL I have placed. So on that particular URL the customer will be redirected on that page. And if I select like refresh page, so after whenever the customer will submit the inquiry, so the page will be refreshed. So let's select one of the option like show message. So the content I have written like your response has been recorded. Next is customize inquiry form. So here the inquiry form can be customized like change form title. So here like I have written like form title as product inquiry, and if I want to change the label color, so I will change it like to this. And if I want to change the button text, submit inquiry, and let's click on save changes. So now let's go to the shop page and let's click on inquiry button. So as you can see that the title that we have decided and on the button text that we have decided is coming here, and the label color that we have decided is coming here, and the label that we have changed for that particular name field is coming here like enter your name. And as you can see that on the name it is mandatory to fill because we have set the priority to enter the name as mandatory. So here the name has to be filled, and without entering the name the form cannot be submitted. Same goes for email address and phone number. We have set the priority as required, so the user has also to enter the phone number in order to submit the inquiry. So this is how you can customize the product inquiry form. So let's again go back to the backend settings, and if we select like next option as custom, so here you can see that the new fields have been added like pin field, state field. So this is how here you can also like mention like required or not required. So this is how you can also customize the particular form according to the business requirements and customer needs and the fields you want to add. So you can enable or disable it from here. Like if I don't want to show like name field, so name field will not be appear on the form. So this is how you can choose the form type like default or custom. So this was all about the form settings tab. Now let's move to next tab, that is inquiry list. So we are on the inquiry list tab. So from here the merchants can see the list of product queries that have been submitted by the customer. So this inquiry tab will assist the merchant to resolve the query swiftly. So we have also added like this feature. So if you click on view, so this will help to directly view the form submission data at once. Like if the merchant wants to see a particular query data, simply he can click on this view and he can see the whole data submitted by the user. Like here you can see that the user ID, name, email, number, PIN, and product URL, and what is inquiry all about, and what is the date at which the query was placed. So this is how easily the admin or the WooCommerce merchant can see the inquiry in the inquiry list. And if like here, if I click on hide or show column, so simply whatever I want to show, like if I want to hide like state, address, date, SKU, name, and save changes. So here in this column these things will be hidden. Like as you can see that all the column that I have hidden is not coming here. So this is how the admin or the WooCommerce merchant can hide or show column. And if the admin or the WooCommerce merchant wants to delete the inquiry, simply you can click on this, and simply you have to click on this and you have to click on delete inquiry. So this was all about the inquiry list. Now let's move to next tab, that is terms and policy. So we are on the terms and policy tab. So here we have added this feature of adding the terms and policy while submitting the inquiry form. So from here the feature can be enabled, so the admin can click on this tick box to enable the terms and policy. So here the admin or the WooCommerce merchant can enter the policy, like here I have entered like you must read and agree with and accept all the terms and conditions contained in these terms. So this policy will come below the inquiry form and the customer has to accept while submitting the form. So let's click on save changes and let's move to shop page. So we are on the shop page and let's click on inquiry button. So below this, as you can see that here the policy that we have decided is coming here because we have enabled the terms and policy feature, and the customer or the user has to click on this box to submit the inquiry form. As you can see that without selecting this, the form cannot be submitted, and the disclaimer is coming as please accept our terms and conditions. So the customer or the user has to click on this box to submit the inquiry. So this is how you can enable the terms and policy conditions according to your WooCommerce store and business requirements. So let's again go back to the backend setting. So this was all about the demo video on product inquiry for WooCommerce. So if you have any queries regarding the plugin functionalities, so you can mention your queries in the comment section and we will be glad to help you. And if you are new to our channel, make sure to subscribe the channel and like and share the video. Until the next video, stay connected with us. Thank you.